everybody, this is Amy from raisingarrows.net, and I'm using my daughter's iPad this time to video this, and hopefully I can remember that the camera is in the side of the iPad and not like look at it straight on. It's kind of funny going between podcasting and YouTube. I tend to find myself looking at the microphone instead of the camera when I'm talking because I've gotten so used to talking to a microphone. So I just got back from our weekly shop at Aldi, and I wanted to tell you about what I got and about how much it cost me. Now, I'm not going to be one of those who lays out the food on the table in videos and shows you, because we have a system, and if I wreck that system by laying all the food out on the table, it will never get put away. There will be food on our table for the next week. And so I just let the kids do the system that we have in place. And I thought, you know what, I can tell you how it kind of works for us with my Aldi shop and kind of what we get and approximately how much it costs us each week. So we usually fill up an entire cart every week. And we used to shop a lot more, or we used to shop a lot less. We used to shop for more weeks. And so it wasn't uncommon for us to fill up a couple of carts per trip. But now that Aldi is right around the corner from my house, I only go once a week. And it does feel like it's always grocery shopping time, but since it's so close, I feel like it's better for our family to just go once a week, get all the fresh produce and all of that, and do it once a week and bring the food back. So we waffle between $180 a week at Aldi's to $260 to $65. This week was about $250. And it's about every other week. So it hovers between, like, the week that we don't buy a lot of meat, or if for some reason it just seems like the food carries over better every other week, we only spend right around that 200-ish mark at Aldi. And then the next week it never fails. The next week we're always back up to the 260 range. So this week was a 260 because last week was 184, if I remember correctly, something like that. We don't seem to fill up the cart as much with the 184, obviously, but we do get some staples. So when you walk into an Aldi store, I think they are almost entirely built around the same model. I know some of them don't have the same thing when you first walk in. Ours has chips on the right hand side, and lately they've started putting on the left hand side all of the new releases, all of the like seasonal type things or something that's there. I mean, sometimes it's like right now there's funnel cake in a little pour funnel thing, which we bought one of those 2 weeks ago, and it did not feed our family, which I knew it wasn't going to. But I mean, even when they made teeny tiny little funnel cakes, it didn't feed our family. So but I wanted the pour because doing funnel cakes, we don't do funnel cakes real often, but doing funnel cakes in the actual funnel is kind of hard for my younger crew. And my 12-year-old's the one who likes to make them. And so I wanted her to be able to make them with the funnel. So that's what's in there. And so chips, we do buy chips. They are the side for our sandwiches when we have sandwiches as our lunch meal. And so I usually get 4-5 bags of chips. I don't buy individual bags. They don't last very long. Big bags don't last very long. They usually maybe a meal and a half we'll get out of a big bag of chips. And that's, you know, in a family where you have a lot of kids, nobody's like binge eating the food because it doesn't last long enough for anybody to binge eat it. So we do have chips. My daughter really likes sweet potato chips, so every now and then we'll get those, but those are a little more expensive. We get tortilla chips there as well. Currently they have tortilla chips in this big brown paper sack kind of thing, and my kids are really liking those. They also tend to have blue corn tortilla chips, and I will get maybe a bag or two of those. And then on down the way, we have like salsa and things like that we'll pick up. There's crackers on the left-hand side. We usually grab some crackers. Like this week we got saltines. Sometimes there'll be Cheez-Its, sometimes club crackers if we're going to have like a cheese ball that week. We do cheese balls for like food as supper. Sometimes I'll just make a big cheese ball, and the cheese ball that we really like is cream cheese and dried beef and green onions and Worcestershire, and that's it. And then we just eat club crackers with it. Sometimes we'll spread cream cheese out on a plate and put jalapeno pepper jelly on top and eat that with club crackers, and that's kind of a snackety supper for us. Then like there's chocolate chips and the baking goods and all of that. I buy most of my flour in bulk, so I'm not buying much like that. They do have an organic sugar there right now, or like a raw sugar there, and I do buy that. I buy like my olive oil cooking spray there. They've started carrying coconut oil, but I buy coconut oil in big containers from Azure, so I don't get my coconut oil there. There's cereal and cereal bars, and we do get those on occasion. I didn't get any cereal bars this time, but I did get the cereal, and I let my daughter pick out cereal. Usually we get the ones with the red berries, but this time she picked out something that was totally unhealthy, but I'm okay with it this time because, again, nobody binge eats this stuff. And then like you have your condiments and stuff, and we didn't really need any condiments this time. Our main expenses this time were the fajita meat. I really like to get that for salads. And I think we got some cheese and some yogurt. And it seemed like it should have been a smaller shop this time by what I got, but then I know what it was. It was all the fruit we bought. So there was some decent fruit there, and it was on a good sale. So we got apples, red grapes, one mango, a watermelon, blackberries, raspberries, and strawberries, I think were all the things that we got. And the bananas, I never buy bananas at Aldi. They're always green and they stay green. So I don't buy bananas there. Sometimes it's really hard to find strawberries that are decent, but my daughter dug around until she found some. And it's kind of touch and go with the fruit. But this week we did find some that was okay. So as you come around then that side, we do get some soup. I got 4 cans of soup for one of our lunches, and I did get some spaghetti sauce and some spaghetti. I'm kind of doing some easy meals this coming week, so there's things like that. There's a bug. And then I do buy baby food. I go ahead and buy the baby food that's there. It's organic. It's in the pouches. And so you can squeeze out what you need, and you can put the rest in the refrigerator, and you don't end up with the yucky mess that you get from jars. And in this point in season of my life, I cannot make my own baby food. I just don't have the time for that. So I am buying it there. I buy wipes and diapers there as well. I actually only have 1 in diapers right now. The other 2 kiddos are just in night diapers, so that's pretty awesome. It's been a long time since I've only had 1 in diapers. And then we did buy some like frozen pizza. That's a real easy meal, especially if I have to be somewhere like Bible study night. I will have them do frozen pizza because I have to leave the house before there's really before I can really get a decent meal on the table. And then we do buy most of our meat there, except for anything that my husband has hunted that's in the freezer. We do sometimes buy our beef in bulk, but lately we have not been able to do that. So we are buying our ground beef there, and we buy the ones that the 80-20. I think that's what it is. There may be an 85-15 that we buy. I can't remember for sure. So, and our mixed berries and our bread, things like that. So this week, it was $260-ish, and usually I bring one of my girls and we just bag it all up and throw it in the little car that we take. and bring it home. So when we get home, there's a whole process to that as well. We get home and they all help bring the bags in, and then they just start unloading it. And the pantry has set places where everything goes. And they are learning. Sometimes, like today, my 11-year-old tried to put yogurt in the pantry, and thankfully I caught that. Sometimes I've seen like cream cheese ends up in the freezer, and that's just gross. But sometimes I don't catch those things fast enough, and we end up eating gross cream cheese. So they just put all that away, and I'm kind of guiding and making sure that things are going in the right place. And then we usually have some sort of snack type supper because it's a lot of work to go grocery shopping like that. So that's our grocery shopping trip with Aldi. That is feeding 10-ish, 11 people from that budget. Now, there are things that I'm not getting there. I buy our toilet paper elsewhere. But I do buy paper towels. I do buy, like I said, wipes and diapers there, so that includes all of that. I buy paper plates. I buy not our laundry soap, but I buy our dishwashing soap and our regular, like Dawn. They sell Dawn there currently. So I get that. I get like sponges and cleaning supplies there. And then sometimes they have some really good deals in their weekly deals section, which is right near the baby stuff. So I walk right by it. I did not get anything there this time, but in the past I have picked up some really great deals there. And so you keep your eyes open, and the prices are typically pretty decent. I have heard from some people who feel like Aldi's is maybe like the poor people's place to shop. And I would totally dispel that rumor. In fact, the other day I pulled up next to a Jag and went in, and it was an older gentleman, and he was shopping at Aldi's, and he's driving a Jag. So there you go. I don't feel like the quality is poor. Like I said, the fruit and veggies are touch and go at times, but the actual food quality of everything else that's there, Aldi really tries to stay on top of the quality and on top of what the consumer wants in that particular community. Now, I have found as we've moved from community to community, sometimes what I want is not in that community because it's not something that the place we're currently living in, they eat here for some reason. But a lot of times you can request things and they will put in a call to the office. Another thing you want to take note of, and this is something that one of the clerks told me, is that when they ask for your zip code, if you're coming from a different city, make sure that you tell them your zip code. There is a reason they are asking. They are asking to figure out where they need to build the next Aldi. So for instance, I have a friend who comes over the state line to come to our Aldi. They don't have one close enough to them. So she always gives her zip code so that maybe someday they will notice that these people are coming over the border to come to our Aldi and put one in that particular state. So always give your zip code, especially if you are not living in that city and you'd like to see Aldi come to your town. That's what they're asking it for. So if you don't give your zip code, then you're saying, hey, I don't care if they show up in our town. So anyway, that's just a little tidbit for you. But I would love to hear how much you spend at Aldi and how big your family is, and just kind of give me a gauge of whether am I on track here or way off base. I am in the Midwest. I don't know if prices change depending on where you are in the United States, but I am in the Midwest, so prices tend to be a little cheaper here. But that is my weekly grocery budget with Aldi.